Hello, this is Dirty Truckn. I done made it back upstairs, got out that swimwear, and it got dried off. I'm gonna make this video real quick about trucking companies. You know, they can do some dirty shit. That's what prompted me to start doing this dirty trucking stuff. But because I got a lot of shit going on in my life that's unbelievable, it goes from trucking to whatever's going on with me. But trucking companies can do some dirty shit to their drivers. Unbelievable. You got drivers that been with you for years. You turn around and do dirty shit to them. Or you got the best damn driver you could ever get, and you do something to damn near run the damn driver off. Why do you do that? You know, not only do I blame the trucking company, I blame who they put in charge as management. Because that's technically who's running the drivers off, who's really running the company. Behind the scenes is management. They out, no, not behind the scenes, they out in the front. Management is who we interact with. Dispatchers, road supervisors, safety, the orientation people. I call them management. That's who we first interact with coming in as a trucker. You go through orientation, do the safety. They make sure everything okay with you. Then you on your truck and then you off. But if you a good driver and manage to stay there, you got a driver, a trucking company that has a driver that manages to stay there for years through all your fucked up bullshit going on at that company. Your raggedy equipment, shit not being taken care of like it's supposed to. And you got a driver that manages to stay there through thick and thin, tolerate the shit, dealing with the shit, ride or die with the bullshit. And what happened now? See, OTR, it ain't really no, you ain't got really no seniority over to OTR. All you got is a higher end date. And your higher end date just, really, lets you know your place in the company. When you got in the company, and they keep track when you get your year in and all that. It ain't really nothing far as, seniority to give you any kind of perks or anything far as a driver. Really, you don't get no kind of perks. Not OTR. If you OTR, yeah, you been here 5 years, they might give you a little jacket or something, a gift or something like that. But it ain't really no, not like being on a regular job. So regular job, local drivers actually have like a seniority status. They higher end date is actually their seniority status. OTR, that seniority shit don't mean shit out there. It don't mean shit when it's coming to loads. None of that. It don't mean shit. It's just who in the area first. It's your seniority. Anybody looking up your damn seniority when you're out there, when you're in them states, it ain't going by no damn. So who's available first? But local, your seniority, you have seniority at a company local. Your higher end date is your seniority. When you came in and established how many years. Now, this is a dirty story, and I'm going to tell it. Driver, been there years, ride or die with a company. I only know one way of losing your seniority in a company. And it happened to me at Smart. I told you I used to be a bus driver. That's how I got my commercial license. I was a bus driver first. And now I end up quitting Smart. I left Smart to go to Chrysler, one truck. And if I'd have known what was going to happen to me damn near 5 years later, 4 years later, I would have stayed at Smart. I'd have said, fuck Chrysler, would have never went there. But I went. But the only way you can lose your seniority here locally is if you quit. Now, I quit Smart And when that shit happened to me at Chrysler, I attempted to go back. I actually put in the application, got called in for the hiring process. Was up there watching videos. Was called in the office. They talked to, even asking my old supervisor. They let me know in the office that because I quit, we know you used to work here. And because I quit, you lost your seniority. As far as terminal-wide, but not company-wide. As far as the company, because I've been there, I was there before. I got 6 years of SMART. So far as with the company, I still have 6 years with the company. But far as in the terminal with the other drivers, I had lost my seniority if I was to get hired in back there. If they was to hire me back in there, I had lost my seniority terminal, which meant when it came for run picks, it go by seniority, I had lost it. I was starting all over again, down from the bottom. That's the only way I know anybody could lose their seniority. I have never heard of anybody losing their seniority, even when I was at Chrysler. Chrysler put me off. My employer put me off on that medical. But I didn't lose my seniority because I was off on a medical. And when I returned from the first medical, I had not lost my seniority. The employer put me off on a medical. I returned. I still had my same seniority in the company. And that's the same with trucking companies, local. Your seniority works the same. The only way I know somebody could lose their seniority and end up starting all over is if you actually quit. Not from being off on a medical. You know, the pandemic happened. All those people that was off. You don't lose your seniority in the company just because you was off. And even after the pandemic, we're getting back on the feet, we're back to work. You go off on a medical. I don't care how long you off on a medical. But if you classified of being off on a medical, how the hell do you lose your seniority when you come back? You can't come back to the status you was at because you was off on a medical. And I think that's some dirty shit for a company to do to somebody. You went off on a medical. You was unsure when you was coming back. You had not quit, but you're off on a medical. You know, you can't predict when you coming back from a medical. Shit happens. It's when the doctor say you can come back, pretty much. Except for what happened to me at Chrysler. See, Chrysler made up that damn lie, and I got back from it the first time. But because I questioned it the second time, they walked me out of the plant. Because I questioned it. I questioned why they put me off. And they put me off again, and I never got back. And so I ended up quitting. But technically, because I quit, really, legally, I shouldn't lose my seniority there because they did something to make me quit. They were gaslighting me. They made up lies. They made up that story. The doctors were actually gaslighting me, medical gaslighting. They were going on with this plant story, kept me off my job. How does someone that has never, ever, ever in their life had a medical history of having a mental illness or mental problems, all of a sudden, one day, you just damn near deemed crazy by your fucking employer? And that's basically what Chrysler did. I don't have any history of it. And somebody with mental problems have some type of history of it. Some prior history of it. Oh, no, not me. I didn't. But Chrysler got away with putting shit in my file. They started saying shit to make it look like. That's called gaslighting. Look it up. Research it. I'm telling you, it's a lot of bullshit going on out here that they doing to employees. They're doing to drivers. It's technically illegal shit. Some of y'all out there, it might be more of y'all out there that had some type of shit like this happen to you that's happened to me. That shit is called gaslighting, what they did, which caused a constructive discharge. Well, that means the employer was doing something that caused me to leave, which they did. And I don't care who I complained to here. They just didn't give a fuck. And even making these videos now, they didn't give a fuck. Kept it secret. You know, some secrets ain't meant to be kept, especially not no shit like that. And I didn't appreciate an employer that didn't give a fuck, which was Truckn. That would do that shit to me, lie on me, destroyed my family. They the reason I really don't want to date. You falsely accuse me of harassing somebody. What the fuck I want to date for? Oh, now you want me to date around in here after you let that company falsely accuse me. No. I ain't got time. And I say that to say this. Companies do dirty shit. These trucking companies do dirty shit to the employees. And expect to have drivers. How do you expect to keep a driver and you doing this dirty ass shit? And back to that seniority shit. I don't know, how do you lose your seniority like that? You a local driver. You go off on a medical. You off on a medical. You ain't quit. You come back. You get the okay to come back. You bring everything to come back. You find out you can't get in your truck. Your assigned truck, they gave it to somebody else got it. It'll drop you all the way down to the bottom with pay. Your status ain't the same. Talking about you done lost your seniority. How do you lose your seniority if you off on a medical? I don't understand that. A truck driver that's local, how do you lose your seniority? That means, what you know what that signs for? That's telling me somebody at the company that screwed up some goddamn where. Either somebody put it in that the driver quit, but the driver didn't quit. He was off on a medical. Somebody somewhere done screwed up something somewhere. Because it ain't nothing to talk about. It ain't nothing to see. It ain't nothing we got to figure out. It's the same process as when I was at Warren Truck Plant. I was off on a medical. I got back from that first one in 2003. When I came back, I went back to the line, went back to work. I didn't lose no seniority. Only beat that was skipped is me working in the plant. You interfered with my pay because you had me off collecting this partial benefits money, which wasn't my 100% of my pay. It wasn't 100%. But trucking companies like to do dirty shit to their drivers. And then they try to cover the shit up. And I blame the company for hiring the management that is mismanaging and running your drivers off. That's who I blame. Somebody dropped the ball. Somebody mismanaged. Somebody lying some goddamn where. Now, if either this story ain't 100% correct, or somebody done fucked up some damn where. No driver that's local, that goes off on a medical, should come back, not be able to get back in their truck, because it was your truck before you left. It was your truck before you left. And of course, ain't no company gonna let a truck sit for a lengthy time because you off on a medical. Okay, they're gonna put somebody else in it. That is expected. Okay, whoever's in your truck should have been told this driver's off on a medical. We don't know when to expect them back or her back. But when they get back, you got to get your ass out of this damn truck. But what if that don't take place? You get back. You can't get back in your truck. Your company done dropped you all the way down to the bottom, treating your ass like you brand new. You just got here. And you one of their Senior drivers. You a senior driver. Not far as age, far as the length of time you've been there. Those are senior drivers. You fuck over your, let me see, it's two things management shouldn't do. Fuck over your senior drivers and fuck over your good drivers. See, you can have senior drivers that's been there years. You ride it down and been through all that company bullshit. They know all the shit going into company. You don't fuck over them. They been there long enough. They probably been there before you. Probably be there after you. And during you. Them your senior drivers. There's two things the company don't fuck over. You don't fuck over your senior drivers unless they a fuck up senior driver. Now, if they just fucking up, their record is bad, they unsafe driving practice, you don't fuck over your senior drivers. You don't fuck over your best drivers. And you damn don't write up your best drivers over no bullshit. Because if you run your senior drivers off, you run your best drivers off, what you got left? You're going to have to take any driver with any kind of record you can get. And some of these companies I've been with shouldn't even have drivers. Over the road. Some of these companies that are still recruiting drivers, OTR, some of them shouldn't even have drivers. Shouldn't even still be recruiting because you're lying to get them there. Then you tell more lies after they get there. And then when the driver get there, they find out that you've been lying. How do you get on the phone and lie to somebody knowing you got that individual coming there and it's going to at some point discover that they've been lied to? What you think gonna happen then? All hell can break loose. That's what happened to me at Western Express. I was lied to before I got there. I was pissed off at the lies I was told. And he sounded so sincere, this recruiter. Sincere. And it's a true story. When I got there, I called him over to the dispatch office and told him in front of the dispatcher that he was a liar. I said, you lied to me. You lied to my face. You lied to recruit me here. Everything you said was a damn lie. I told it to him to his face in the dispatch office. I didn't give a damn who heard it. I didn't give a damn if you didn't like me because of it. You're not going to lie to me, get me to leave my home state. Because you know what he did, what that caused? I was looking at local jobs. Matter of fact, I was looking at the one I'm on now. But because he lied to me at Western Express to get me back out there, I chose to go back out there with Western Express because I wasn't sure about this job I was on. I ain't never been in the trash industry and looking like this is going to be some tedious stuff. I wasn't sure. So I went back to what I do best. I was an independent contractor. That's what I love to be. I love being independent. Running the show. That's me. I loved it. As long as I can make the money out there, I loved it. But not at Western Express. That's how they ended up on that TV show. That's how they ended up sued. See, trucking companies demand the best of the drivers. They want your safety record dotted, every I dotted, every T crossed. But what about the trucking company? We as the drivers need to start demanding the trucking companies have every I dotted and all their T's fucking crossed. When we look up your damn DOT, what the fuck does it say about your goddamn company? Is you at lawsuit status? Or is you in a lawsuit? Is you about to go out of fucking business? Is you got some shit going on that, hey, we might be driving a truck one day and next thing you know, we dropped off some damn where because we ain't got no truck because your shit fucked up. What kind of status is your company in? And that's what I don't like about this trucking industry. They make high demands off the drivers. For safety, your DAC, your CSA, all that. They make the high demands of the driver. And they should be fucked up. They sit up there and have these wonderful, and must I repeat, orientation is the best part of trucking I've ever experienced. I would go back out there now just to go to orientation. I do an orientation, leave there, go to another orientation. That's the best time I've ever had as a fucking driver. In orientation. That's where everybody come in as a driver. Ain't nobody caring about your background. Ain't nobody caring about nothing about you personal. Everybody there to be a truck driver. That's when everybody, just think back on your orientations. Everybody there for the same thing. You end up enjoying yourself during orientation because ain't nobody there caring about your personal business. We all there to be truckers. We don't care what you look like as a trucker. You a trucker. That's all. That's all we see when we in orientation. You a trucker. You there? Trying to get this trucking job. Like me, you're hoping the orientation go okay. That's all everybody do in orientation. You hope once you get past, what is it? Let me see. It's the first day, really. Because they usually do everything on the first day. The road test, your drug screen, your physical stuff. Once you get all that out the way, and they give you that damn ID, once you get that motherfucking driver's ID, you home free. The rest of the orientation is smooth sailing. We don't give a shit. Once you get that, when the motherfuckers give you that damn driver ID, when they call you in that room and put your ass in that goddamn computer, hand you that little packet with your fuel card, your driver ID, your little password to log into the damn ELD, all that shit, man, we done made it. That's the best part of orientation. Get that motherfucking driver's ID. Once you get that shit, who give a fuck about the rest? I mean, you in. And I used to love that about trucking out there, the orientation. Now, I've been to some orientation like, goddamn, I don't even know how the fuck I'm here. Some we ain't had no food. We had to get our own. But that was the best part of trucking for me out there, was the orientation. But here local, the process is a little bit damn different. And I'm quite sure some of y'all out there, a lot of y'all, the majority of y'all done had experience with local. Local driving is like being on a regular fucking job. You get hired in. You're going to do your little brief orientation. They ain't got to put you up in no damn hotel because you live in the area. Some of them, a lot of them don't give you the road test. The local jobs I've been on, you ain't get no damn road test. You supposed to come in already knowing how to damn drive. Now they may send you out with somebody to show you what you got to do. The route and all that. And they gonna be checking your driving too, so to speak. But they already expect you to know how to drive when you're local. They don't want to have to come in training you. They send you out. You supposed to come in and experience. You to put in this application, told them you experienced. You got a couple of years in driving. Then your ass get there. And then they see you got some issues. And you will, a risk of, you ain't really ready to be going out there on your own. So they gonna have to ride with you. See if they get you straightened out. And if they can't get you straightened out, then you ain't gonna make it. But that's local. That's different than OTR. OTR, they're gonna give you a road test. If you pass that road test, you get your driver ID, your ass is up out of there. You going on down the road. Local, they're gonna give you, you don't get a road test. They're gonna have you trained. There's been several companies I've been with. I ain't had a road test. I came in. They go off your experience. They go off your scores. They go off your experience. Okay, when they look at your record, okay, this is an experienced driver. When they look at my highly experienced, I'm a highly experienced driver. Highly experienced. So if I put in an application at a company, they're expecting when I come in there, I shouldn't need to be taught to drive. any kind of aspect of driving. Because according to my record, I'm experienced. Highly. Now, there's some local jobs out here. You still green, but they'll work with you. See if they can get you to that status where you ain't going to be accident prone. You hang in there. If you hang in there, them the ones I call, they up. Like I said, if I'm training somebody, I can tell what type of driver you are. You either a good driver, you got potential, or you done some lying on your goddamn application. You done fabricated some shit to try to get in and hoping you can wing it enough until you smooth your shit out. And them kind of drivers is, I want to say, risky, dangerous drivers. Because those are the ones that really can't drive. You can drive, but it's something part in your driving that ain't that great. And it's a risk factor. And if you go out with a driver to train you about the job, usually that trainer gonna pinpoint what your risk factor is. And then if it's something they can fix, they'll help you fix it. They'll work with you. If you trainable. If you can fix it. But you got to be willing to fix it. But at this point, when you local companies want drivers already experienced. The only training they want to do is to tell you how or where you got to show you what you got to do. If it's something you got to do. But if you're doing a route out and back, they don't want to have to tell you shit. You supposed to know how to do that. But if it's a different aspect of trucking that you ain't ever been in, and they have to show you what to do, okay, then they have to show you what to do. But they already expected you to know the basics of driving. You supposed to already know how to fucking drive. They don't want to have to train you about the job and teach you how to drive too. Because if they release you, if they let you go, okay, you done good enough for them to let you go, say, okay, they pretty good, and you go out there and fuck up. That's going to fall back on that trainer. And that's something I cannot do. Is go to the company and say, hey, this person is good, knowing they ain't. And I done trained some good ones. I can tell a good one. I can tell. The average driver that's highly experienced and good, and if they got to ride with somebody for the company to be sure about you, you know, they in there, they anxious to get off the goddamn truck because they good. And I'll be able to tell it because they good. Ain't too much I had to tell them. Just watch your little bag and maneuver. Hey, do this, that's it. Or see what you're doing. Just watch you a little bit. But if you're good, I ain't got to do too much of that. I know if you're good. And your training will go just like that. But if you got something wrong, some areas you need working with. See, my truck was overheating when I had that training, and it just wasn't going to work out. So I had to pass the buck. Hopefully, the trainee can hang in there. If you can get trained, if you can get your issues straightened out. But like I said, a driver coming in with some areas that I call risk factors, I get a little leery of that. Because I don't want to be responsible saying, hey, yeah, you did good while you was around me training. But then I let you go and you go out there. And because now you ain't got nobody over there watching you or showing you what to do or guiding you. You done went out there and fucked up. I can't do it. I can't. But back to this seniority shit. You know, I don't like companies that fuck over their drivers. Not a goddamn senior driver. And not your best drivers. Well, if you run them two off, who the hell you gonna have left? You ain't gonna have no choice but to take the worst of the best. And like I said, some of these trucking companies out here don't even deserve the drivers that they got. They don't. You don't appreciate them. The shit going on with your equipment, but that's the drivers. It ain't the company that did it. The drivers tore them up. You don't want to know why? Because the company brought somebody in there that said they was a good driver, and they really wasn't that good, and came in and started tearing up the goddamn trucks. Or it's not necessarily drivers. Hey, it could be somebody there at the shop, one of your mechanics, or somebody else you let drive the truck. It really shouldn't have been driving it and tore up some shit. And try to put it off on the driver. I done seen that happen. That's what happened when you don't get the best of the best in there. And if your company is at a status where you can't get the best of the best, and now you got to get the okay of the best, or we can deal with this one of the best. Well, sometimes you just had to accept what the fuck you can get as a driver just to stay in business because your shit is so fucked up. But we as drivers need to start demanding that these companies we go to make sure all your I's is dotted and all your T's is fucking crossed. Because you doing all this shit to us when we coming in there. And our shit may be, our job may be at risk because there's some shit going on behind the scenes that we don't know of as a damn driver. As far as with your company, like with Western Express. The whole time I was there, I didn't know they was in the process about to be sued and shit. But they was steady hiring motherfucking drivers in there left and right. Shitload of them. Your company at that status and you still hiring like that. What the fuck? Need to get your shit straight before you bring more drivers into that shit. That's what happened to, what's that damn company over there in Indianapolis? When they came in and shit their motherfucking ass down. All them drivers all over the goddamn United States told them to park their motherfucking trucks. They were stranded. Someone had to find their own way home. Other trucking companies was trying to help pick them up real quick so they wouldn't be stranded. All because they management that they put in charge was doing some bullshit behind the scene. The drivers didn't know about it. They didn't keep the drivers up to, they wasn't telling the drivers nothing about it. They came in there and shut their motherfucking company down. Told them to park their motherfucking trucks and they were stranded all over the fucking United goddamn States. Shit all on the goddamn news. I worked with that company briefly. And that's a fucked up shit. See, that's what happened. When you put the wrong people in charge, you thinking they running the company. But there's some shit going on behind the scene that you don't know about. The next thing you know, the company in jeopardy. We got to find another job. And some shit happening. Or they in there running your drivers off. You constantly hiring. Why can't you keep, you ain't ever thought about why can't you keep your best drivers? Companies, all this, what's the problem? Why can't you keep your best drivers? Why are your best drivers leaving? Why are the best of drivers leaving? If you a company, your status ain't really that great, but you fuck around and actually get one of those drivers, like me, the best of the best, to sign on to your motherfucking company, and I don't stay, what's wrong? See, companies need to start looking into that. What's wrong? I tell you, it's your management. It's who you put in charge to run the company. A lot of it deal with a lot of untruth going on, a lot of lies, your equipment, shit happening that the driver just don't tolerate, don't understand why it's going on because they're a damn good driver. Damn good drivers, best drivers don't tolerate a lot of shit that shouldn't be going on at a damn company. They just don't. They'll be out in a minute. They'll quit in a motherfucker. They just won't because they're not used to that shit. They don't understand why it's going on. You're not going to sit here and preach safety shit to me. And I'm looking at all this unsafe shit going on. What I do find that's highly ridiculous, a company letting a driver with a shit up the ass ticket, a shitload of tickets, train. What the fuck? How does somebody with a bad driving record end up a trainer? That be going on over the road. I've seen trainers out there that shouldn't even be trainers. I've heard horror stories from drivers that been on trucks with trainers that was just the most horrific experience they've ever had. See, you want to know how you keep getting these bad drivers or you got drivers coming in with these bad habits? Why don't you look at who you got training them? Do you have a trainer that actually has these same bad habits and is training these individuals? They come in and now you got another individual with these same bad habits. They might be part of the problem. Or you got a trainer that don't give a damn. Hey, this driver drive okay to me. And he end up in there. And next thing you know, he turned out to be the bad seed of the damn drivers. When is this shit going to end? How did the company get to the mentality that, well, yeah, if I don't keep this one, we ain't going to have no drivers? Well, I guess you don't have a driver then. If you going to fuck up your company record just to have a damn driver, that's crazy. But hey, some of these companies are resorting to that now. Because things have gotten that fucked up. And you need to take a look at your management. How your management is treating your drivers, your seniority drivers, and your best drivers. You need to take a look at what your management is doing. Who's telling the lies here? Is it your driver lying or is it your management lying on the damn driver? Because like I said, somebody that goes off of medical that's a seniority driver should not come back and lose their status. They should be to get back in their truck they had before they went off. Ain't shit changed far as they pay. Because you got a pay package. So what's the problem here? But if you got a seniority driver come back, you tell them some bullshit, you done ran some bull, you done some dirty shit to them. Now the driver about to leave. What did that say about the company? Now here I am. Now I done got over a year here. I'm looking at this. You just fucked over one of your senior drivers. What did that mean for me? Other drivers sitting back looking at this. You done fucked over one of your senior drivers to where the driver's just came back from a medical and to put in a notice. What the fuck? And I'm looking at this. Damn, it's like that at the company? You need to take a look at who you got managing and running your damn shit. Who lying here? Because somebody is telling some big fat lies around here. Now, who is it? Is it the driver? Or is it the management? Because I can't see a senior driver coming back from a medical and you done fucked over them so bad and told them some bullshit. Now they about to leave. They just came back from a medical. That's some fucked up shit. And I'm letting all these companies know, y'all need to get y'all shit together out there. Because some of y'all don't even deserve drivers. You don't deserve to have the good drivers you got now. You ought to appreciate the fact that you got drivers. You ought to appreciate us even more as drivers. And you better put that speck on it. Because I'm a damn good driver. And they are too. Dirty Truckn, peace out. When you talk about us drivers, you better put that speck on that shit. Peace out.